Hello everyone, my name is Hannah Heisel and I am a naturalist intern here at Dorothy Pico Nature Center, and today on Live Animal Lunchtime I am going to be introducing you to two of our turtles we have here at the Nature Center. The first one that I'm going to introduce to you is Clairabell. She is one of our three-toed box turtles. We received Clairabell in 1996 from a family who had her as a pet and then no longer wanted her. So we got her in 1996 and she is about 55 to 60 years old. She is our oldest turtle out of the four we have here at the Nature Center. And here she is. So she's a three-toed box turtle, which means that she's got 3 toes on the back, on her 2 back feet, but then she has 5 toes on the front. I'm gonna put her down and introduce you to our other 3-toed box turtle, which is a male. All right, we have a male 3-toed box turtle as well, and his name is Riley Rex, and we call him Rex for short. We got him in the fall of 2012 from Riley O'Connor, who was a former Sioux City newscaster. And Riley Rex here is about 35 years old. You can tell that he's got some pretty distinct markings on his head or his neck, and even kind of on his front feet. That indicates that he is a male, and they're typically red, orange, or yellow, and his are more of a yellow or orange color. Again, he has 3 toes on the back and then 5 up front. And today we're going to be feeding them worms. So I'm gonna put their little feeding tubs here on the table and give them a worm, and then I will talk a little bit more about box turtles in general. As I'm getting their tubs up here, behind me I do have a poster, and that poster just indicates that we have 13 different types of turtles here in Iowa. Here at the Nature Center we do have 4 turtles. We have 2 3-toed box turtles, and then 2 ornate box turtles. So there's their feeding trays. I'm gonna grab them both a worm. All right, here you go, Rex. There's a worm. Clairabell, there's a worm for you. And like I said before when I was introducing them, Clairabell is 55 to 60 years old, and Rex is about 35 years old. And someone was patient enough to figure out how old they were by counting the rings on their shell. So it's kind of like when you're trying to figure out how old a tree is, you count the rings of a tree. It's the same way for box turtles. In the wild, they can live to be about 50 to 75 years old, but in captivity, they can live to be more than 100 years old. They typically eat worms, grasshoppers, crickets, fruits, and vegetables. Here at the Nature Center, we like to give them worms and crickets. They also get fruit. They like their berries, mulberries, raspberries, strawberries, and we do give them yogurt from time to time, which they seem to enjoy. In the wild, they're typically found in forested areas that are moist, wet meadows, pastures, and floodplains. So we do have prairies around us, so we might encounter them. Typically, their range is Missouri to Texas and then into south central Alabama. Typically, females will lay 3 to 8 eggs, which after they lay them, they hatch in 2 to 3 months, but it takes them about 5 to 7 years to reach maturity. And again, to tell the difference between males and females, typically males have the bright orange, yellow, or red coloring on their neck and their head, But there's also another way to tell, which is on their shell, which I can show once they're done eating their worm. But the males do have a concave curve on the bottom side of their shell, whereas the female's shell is more flat. Fun fact about box turtles is that they do have a hinged plastron, which allows them to close their shell almost completely shut, so they can tuck their head and their arms and legs into their shell and then shut it. So if there's a predator, they can basically hide. And I do have a picture to show. Clairabell has closed her shell once, and we did get a picture of it. So that's what it looks like when they close their shell. Looks like Rex was quite hungry today. He almost has that worm devoured. Box turtles are related to the tortoise family. They don't swim like painted turtles. They do not have webbed feet like painted turtles. Their feet are more claw-like, so they've got some nails. I'm going to show you Rex's bottom of his shell. There is a curve here, so that helps us determine that he is a male. And Clairabell's still eating, so I'm not going to pick her up just yet to show you the bottom of her shell. Alright, I'm gonna pick her up. As you can see, her shell is more flat, and here's that hinged plastron I was talking about. So that allows them to open and shut their shell. I hope you enjoyed seeing the two box turtles eat today, and that you learned something about them if you didn't already know something about our box turtles. Come back next week on Thursday, as we will be doing live animal lunchtime with our educational ambassador Scout, who is our American Kestrel. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.